Lovely. So I'm just going to go through the spinning wheel. It's a Qigong movement called the spinning wheel. And generally in the traditional forms of Qigong, each specific one will affect a specific meridian or organ that will be linked with a certain motion, etc. As with this is the kidneys, liver, and the bowel and the pericardium, the heart lining. Again, generally this is in a lot of different forms, but basically the way I'm doing this is taking their movements and putting it with a yogic Pilates type breath. Ujjayi breath is mixed in there, and the core set up from Pilates, and a little bit of sort of hypnotherapy type breath, extending the out breath, which I'll explain as we go. I spend longer on the breathing with this, because you pick up the movement easy, but again it is just movement, so I'm not doing it like a traditional way. I've done that on other videos, so I'm putting all them mixtures of breath in there, but it doesn't matter, it's just breath and it's just movement, okay? And if it feels good at the end, great. But again, generally this one within a lot of forms is linked to the bowel, liver, down on the right, the liver, and the kidneys and the pericardium. But we're not going to go down that line, because again the breath will affect every cell, sinew of the body, as that breath will manifest in every single cell, sinew of the body. So with that, we're going to the breathing and we're going to mix the movement in. This is the 16th move of the 18 form Qigong sequence, but I've done a sort of 8 brocades, all in the same style. Then I'm adding on this 18 form Qigong sequence. Okay, then there's a 9 form I'm added on, so it's 35 moves. Okay, a little bit long-winded way to say it. 35 moves, 3 forms together, and this is the 24th move of the whole 35. You can do these segmentally the way I've done them, or in the form. Okay, I'll put the numbers there in the brackets. 35, and then I put in the number. So I put the number of the amount of moves in the form, and then I put the number of it in the brackets. But it doesn't matter. You do these segmentally or in that sequence. So again, I digress. Again, a little bit of noise there on my washing machine, but again, going to be too relaxed for that to even tap into that. So just tap into my voice, and while you're there, just stand in a comfortable position, nice and soft on the knee joints. We're going to zip up pelvic floor and scoop out your abdominals and take your navels towards your spine. Again, you can't do one muscle without the other. They go together. Okay, so again, your pelvic floor here comes across here. Okay, again, I come back here, the thumbs from the hips, that's the B line. Again, it's basically a lower abs really. And that will link to the corset muscle 3 layers deep. From this line here, the pelvic floor, and we've got this corset muscle 3 layers deep, the transverse abdominis, which is all segmentally stabilising the spine. Then muscles go together. Okay, again, you can see it and feel it yourself from this line, this B line. Okay, this B line here. Again, that's where the corset links 3 layers deep and the pelvic floor. And if you take your thumbs from the hips and meet here, that's the B line where the pelvic floor and the corset muscle is, the transverse abdominis. If you cough or sneeze, everything comes in. Okay, as you feel your pelvic floor go and your corset muscle go, to add evidence that's happening. So right now, zip up pelvic floor, scoop out your abdominals, and simply breathe in through the nose and exhale through pursed lips. And as you're doing that, that's roughly the Pilates breath. That will help you breathe anywhere but the belly button. That will help you breathe low and deep into these lower lobes of lungs, into intercostals, the ribs, anywhere but the stomach. If you get the 2 middle fingers touching underneath the xiphoid process, the sternum, the breastbone, palms on the lower lobes of lungs, as you do that, zipping up pelvic floor and scooping out your abdominals, and still breathing through the nose and exhaling through pursed lips. If you're sort of blowing out a candle through pursed lips, you'll feel these 2 middle fingers slightly apart and come back to touch each other. Just letting you know where that breath is going into them lower lobes of lungs. Without further evidence, as you zip up pelvic floor and scoop out your abdominals, you'll feel that breath going low and deep to these fish gills, 3D style. Keep breathing organ deep, cell deep, even bone marrow deep, into these lower lobes of lungs, the intercostals, the ribs, anywhere but the stomach. And that's going to help us use that pelvic floor and the corset muscle in the most efficient manner to segmentally stabilise our spine. Lovely. That's what we call lateral facet breathing Pilates in short, but we're going to change that slightly and go a little bit yogic with that, still keep that up, and we're going to close the mouth, so we've got a longer filter now. Okay, so again, it's a smaller filter here through the nose, so it slightly becomes more yogic. Okay, and there's many different styles. That lengthens the whole wheel cycle of the breath. Like the asanas, you lengthen the wheel cycle of the breath, and that helps you melt into them asanas, them postures even easier. So we go slightly on the yogic side of things, and if you want to take it on a little bit further into the hypno or the hypnotherapy type breaths, a bit like 7-11 breathing, you're extending that out breath longer than the in breath. Okay, so as you still zip up pelvic floor and scoop out your abdominals, closing the mouth, breathing in through the nose now and out through the nose, you will naturally feel that out breath wants to fall longer than the in breath. So allow that to happen, because the in breath's conscious thought, the out breath is subconscious thought. So by extending the out breath longer than the in breath, that's going to encourage what we call the parasympathetic nervous system. Sleep, digestion, rest, and relaxation are all benefited by elongating the out breath longer than the in breath, bringing all the housekeeping parts of the body, the things you don't think about, heartbeat, blood pressure, etc. It's all dealt with that lovely parasympathetic out breath, extending it, quadrupling it, doubling it, even, or tripling it. Just make it slightly longer than the in breath without even trying, or try not to try, not forcing anything. Lovely. So you can stick with that breath. That's perfectly adequate. It's quite a mixture of breath there, as you're still zipping up pelvic floor, scooping out your abdominals, allowing that breath as you do that to come into them lower lobes of lungs. That'll happen anyway right now as you do that. And just coming in and out through the nose while allowing that out breath to fall longer than the in breath. That'll naturally want to happen. Now, if you do want to add on a little bit to that, it's slightly more advanced yogic breath. It's ujjayi breath. If you can't get this, don't worry. Just carry on as you are. Now, again, with the ujjayi breath, you grip the esophagus, make it narrower, and as you breathe in through the nose, as you grip in that esophagus, you'll feel this ujjayi breath, victorious breath in Sanskrit. So it's like a raspy, silky sound from the back of the throat, and that will further lengthen the whole wheel cycle of the breath. Okay, and help to stimulate the thymus gland, which helps with weight control, etc. So when you're ready, it's like a and an exhale. It's like a silky, whistling ujjayi breath, victorious breath. That gives the mind something to focus on. Okay, but again, not thymus gland, thyroid gland, I'm going to say. Okay, that helps stimulate the thyroid gland, which helps with weight control, etc. with ujjayi breath. And again, the only way I can do it is to make that sound. If you can't get this, don't worry. Carry on as you are. Again, and just tune into my voice. No sounds that's outside. Just tuning in to my voice. You can tune in. Any noise happening outside doesn't matter. You're just tuning in to my voice. And as you zip up pelvic floor and scoop out your abdominals, you can bring this ujjayi breath. It's like going with the mouth shut. It's like a more advanced yogic breath, ujjayi breath. Breathing through the nose, it's like a, and it's a with a mouth shut. Again, that's a real focusing breath. Sometimes you'll do that naturally. When you're going to do a sort of fine motor skill like threading the needle, banging a nail, you might go. Again, we're just overemphasising that. That gives the mind something to focus on. Be aware of the sound of the breath, the feel of the breath. You can do that ujjayi breath or not, it doesn't matter. Just be aware of the sound of the breath, the feel of the breath. As we add that to the motion, again, I always say only go as deep as you keep the knees in line with toes, or less if you like. Basically, only go as deep as you like, but no lower than your knees coming past your toes. We keep them Iyengar yoga principles. I'll close that door a little bit. And again, we're going to mix that to vinyasa, breath synchronized movement. So from here, the spinning wheels like a spinning motion as you squat. I'll come back so you can see that. Again, here. Again, you go one way, then you go the other way. But while we're doing that, nothing set the motion. We're going to breathe in, carry on that breathing. It's like a. And then just simply go again when you're ready. You get enough reps on that side, you go back the other way. So you can balance it up though. Again, you could go here and carry on round. So it's more meditative, making each then moves one dynamic whole. And then when you're ready, go back the other way and balance it while elongating the out breath longer than the in breath, zipping up pelvic floor, scooping out your abdominals, with ujjayi breath or not. That ocean breathing. By elongating the out breath longer than the in breath. Breathing for the nose and just letting it out. Elongating the out breath longer than the in breath and simply go again. No lower than you keep the knees in line with toes. Only go as deep as you like and stay up high or go down deep. Only go as deep as you like to relax and let go. Lovely. As you allow that breath to weave a tapestry of relaxation, every single organ, cell, sinew of the body at will. Lovely. That lower abdomen's being squeezed like a pump or a bellows with the breath, the motion and movement. Just make sure it's nice and balanced on each side. Okay, as you do the same amount one way, you do the other way. You might want to time it or whatever you like. And again, that's a spinning wheel. So the number 17 of the 18 form Qigong sequence added onto that 8 will be bouncing the ball next. Again, a nice balanced one. Lovely, but that was number 16 of the whole 18 form Qigong sequence with an 8 at the beginning, so that was 24 the whole 35. An 8 form, okay, an 18 form and a 9 form. Doesn't matter though. Bang, lovely.